We open on the depths of Megacity 1, a demonstration taking place against the new power tower structure. Megacity 1 and its vast population requires power, and this tower is channeling the Earth's magma as a means for fuel. However, the Earth Mothers, a protest group, are there in force, blocking the roads and causing a disturbance. We see an agitated citizen in the traffic, attempting to rush to the hospital, Jimmy Godber. For pity's sake, I haven't got the time for this. I've got to get to the hospital now or I'm a dead man. Exiting his vehicle and running, he catches the attention of Jeremiah. You took something that didn't belong to you, Jimmy, as he opens fire on Godber. Godber balls over in agony, just meters from the hospital. Where are they, Jimmy? Jeremiah's caught up, gun on Godber, and we learn what they are. Leave me alone, I'm sick, I gotta get treatment. Damn thing got me. A hugger? Gun against his temple and ready to fire. Judge Dredd intervenes. Drop your weapon now. Dredd opens fire and Jeremiah goes down. His last words, it's coming for you, Dredd. Gonna get what you deserve. Before anyone could mourn Jeremiah's passing, Godber, convulsing and screaming, his chest begins bulging and a chestburster erupts. Drock! Dredd knocks it to one side and opens fire as it quickly hits the drain system of Megacity 1. Too late. Dredd to control. We have a serious pest problem. Eisenhower General, get a Verminator squad in here. As the Verminator squad arrives, Dredd hands them a close-up of the hospital security vids. Keep me informed, he says as he goes off to Godber's apartment with rookie Sanchez in tow. Investigating his apartment, Dredd and Sanchez learn that Jimmy Godber had got his hands on some real killer beasts for pit fights. In an effort to win his fortune, he had unwittingly got himself killed. Finding a slimline blaster and a keycard to a rental warehouse, Judge Dredd and Sanchez head out. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, the Verminator squad have begun flying a drone in search of the pest, upwards into the elevator shaft, and then they see the pest. The beast, or at least the teeth of the beast, and the camera goes down. That sure as hell wasn't the thing that went in there. With Control sending backup, Dredd, Sanchez, and a team of judges enter the warehouse. They find a bloodied body and eggs. As they investigate, Judge Brubaker approaches an egg. It begins opening and Dredd shouts, Brubaker, get away from it! Too late, and a facehugger leaps forth, latching itself onto Brubaker's head. Judge Pitt jumps in with her knife and attempts to cut her colleague free, but the acidic blood burns her fingers off. Control, we require urgent med assistance. Back at the hospital, Miller and Fisk are in pursuit of the camera in the elevator shaft. Finding skin and putting two and two together, looks like it shed its skin. It's getting bigger. And at the warehouse, this is where we see what it is exactly that's been getting bigger. Judge Rouse, something is definitely moving up there. Somewhere. Holy! Before Sanchez could finish, we see it in full view. Holy is not the word I'd choose. Drop that big sucker. Judge Gomer opens fire, and just like the facehugger, the acidic blood comes forth, dousing Gomer and leaving him a mass of melted flesh and bone. Dredd moves in pursuit, shooting out a grappling line from his lawgiver. You can't go up there, it's too dangerous. I'm dangerous, Sanchez, Dredd exclaims as he climbs up after the beast. Coming face to face with the monster, I take it reasoned discussion is out of the question. Figured it would be. Come on, take me if you think you're hard enough. As Dredd shouts, he opens fire, being sure to dodge the acidic blood as it erupts forth. Dredd and the xenomorph fall. Look out, it's coming down. As the xenomorph lands and begins getting back up, Earl steps in with a high X round. Oh no! But it's too late, and as the explosive round goes off, Earl is gone, melted where he stands. I have to warn the Verminator squad at the hospital. They have no idea what they're dealing with. Too late though, as Miller and Fisk are face to face with the alien. Miller gets decapitated. Fisk, pull out of there now, that's an order. It's moving too fast, I can't get a lock on it, I've lost it. Marinello and his team head in, not wanting to lose more of the squad and their friends. Fisk, there's movement behind you. Too late, and the alien launches its inner jaw through the back of Fisk's skull. No! Marinello lets out a shot, missing the alien and hitting Fisk's jetpack fuel tank. A massive explosion of Fisk's body comes hurtling down to them below. Meyer goes down, and in the confusion Marinello shouts, what just happened? We just lost 3 people in 30 seconds because of you, trigger-happy arsehole, Wilson shouts. Packer comes through to Dredd. I've lost 3 good people, Dredd. What the hell are we dealing with? Alien. Nothing like it was ever spawned on this earth. Dredd replies. Giant, Sanchez, get those elevator doors open now. As they try to open the doors, they notice a scratching sound. Too late, and the alien jumps out. Drock! Giant, Sanchez, down. Dredd opens fire, but the alien is too quick and runs off into the maternity ward of the hospital. A nurse runs out just as the judges approach. In there, in the maternity ward. As the alien looms over the newborns, Judge Dredd shouts, hold your fire, remember acidic blood, one stray shot will turn this ward into a morgue. If we can't shoot it, then what do we do? Offer it something a little tougher to chew on. And with that, Dredd runs in. Come on, fella. You tried to take me once. Care for a rematch. The alien hisses. I'm the one you need to be worried about. But then the alien jumps at Dredd and knocks them both out of the window. As they fall, Dredd comments, slight miscalculation. Falling down, picking up speed, and losing his lawgiver, Dredd manages to grab a hold of some piping on a nearby Zoom and stop himself. The alien is hot on his heels though and ready to strike, with that ever dangerous inner jaw. Without his lawgiver, he needs to improvise, and Dredd pulls out a road flare, jamming it in the alien's mouth and lunging at the alien with the piping, slicing its throat and nearly killing it. I don't know what other tricks you've got in your bag, but I'm betting flying isn't one of them, he says as he kicks the alien off the Zoom and down towards the city below. At the Grand Hall of Justice, Brubaker's condition is stable. The facehugger still latched on and feeding him oxygen. We wait to see how he progresses. Sanchez is with a shrink, shaken up. Not used to seeing aliens burst from bodies, Giant replies to Dredd. None of us are. We just deal with it and move on with the job, Dredd callously states. As the judges get briefed on the current situation, we learn that Footsie is next on their list of perps. He was with Jeremiah as he pursued Godber. Deep in the undercity of Megacity 1, we find Footsie, and so does someone else. We missed you, Footsie. What kept you? It's hit the fan upstairs. I came to warn Mr. Bones, maybe pass the message on. Mr. Bones likes to hear bad news personally, Footsie. And as the judges search for Footsie, they get a break. A call booth down the street. These things, they got loose. The Incubus, the aliens. They now have a lead and are in pursuit. Meanwhile, Jeremiah's dead, Mr. Bones. The judges got him. They've got pictures of the Incubus all over. The whole plan is blown. You've got to call it off. Call it off? No. I've waited too long. Come and walk with me, Footsie. As Mr. Bones and Footsie walk and talk, we learn how Mr. Bones became the disfigured criminal he is. Traversing the galaxy, he came into contact with the aliens and he opened fire, showering his face in their acidic blood, and thus, Mr. Bones was born. Continuing down into the depths of Megacity 1's Undercity, Mr. Bones explains his pheromone tag confuses the aliens enough to mistake him as one of their own. Shooting Footsie for failing to retrieve the eggs and walking away, the pheromone wearing off, the aliens approach Footsie and begin dragging him. You're sick, Bones. Rotten to the core, he shouts as he's dragged off to be a host for a new life. Meanwhile, at the Grand Hall of Justice, there is an update on Brubaker's condition. The facehugger is detached and he's in surgery to remove the embryo it implanted. If the other forms of this alien are anything to go by, that won't be easy. Keep me informed, Benson. Just as Dredd replies, Packer and the Verminator squad approach. Judge Dredd, we recycled our team today. If there are any of these aliens left, we want in on it. I'm holding a briefing for the Chief Judge today. You and your team should sit in on it. At the briefing, we learn that the eggs were stolen from an anti-judge terrorist group. The three they discovered are highly likely to be just a small fraction of what's out there. As they discuss where they may be lurking, Packer chimes in. Maybe they're not in the city at all. Maybe they're in the cursed Earth, under the city, or even in orbit. Back in the Undercity, Bones is beginning to finalise his plan, planting an explosive charge right under the Grand Hall of Justice. The Incubus will rise. The briefing is interrupted with what feels like a quake. This is the Chief Judge. Report. There's been some kind of explosion in the lower levels, ma'am. Oh, Grud, it's an infestation. The aliens pour in and it's chaos, tails lashing and severing arms, head bites and gunshots. Giant, Sanchez, you're with me. You forgot us, Dredd. Packer, eager to exact revenge on losing members of the team. Go get weapons from the upper armory and meet us below, Packer. It sounds like a slaughterhouse down there, Dredd. We must be crazy to go down there. We're judges, Sanchez. We do what we have to do. With all the chaos ensuing and the main power down, the operation to save Brubaker's life from his would-be child isn't going so well. The chestburster erupts, and just as the surgeon believes he has it contained, it slips from his grasp and through his protective gear, killing him. Back to the fray. Dredd and the judges have created a wall of gunfire. Packer and the Verminators return as they promised. Where do you want us? Right here, Packer, as they join the forces to keep the aliens at bay. They begin to get overwhelmed and Dredd makes the call. Control, seal off every level above us now. Better to have them sealed in here than let loose in the city, he says to Sanchez as she questions his actions. Giant, report in. I can't reach the machine room. These things are everywhere, they just keep coming. The upper levels are now sealed, Giant. We have to make use with what we got. And that's when Giant gets an idea. Hold them off, I'm going to get reinforcements. Heading into a nearby room, he approaches some Mechanismo units, robotic judges. Chief Judge, we have 4 Mechanismo droids. I need your authority to activate them immediately, ma'am. Just as things begin turning south for Dredd, Sanchez, and the Verminator squad, Giant appears. Dredd, I activated 4 Mechanismo droids. I know you're not a fan, but in this case, it's justified. You hear me arguing, Giant? And that's when the droids start exacting justice on the aliens. Main programs being based off of Judge Dredd himself. If anyone could turn the tide, it's these robotic droids. As the Mechanismo droids shoot and blast at the aliens, they begin retreating to the Undercity. The fight is over, but not without casualties. The Verminators lose more men and Sanchez gets pulled away, shouting no as she is dragged off by the aliens. Might still be a chance for her. I'm going in. Not alone, Dredd. I'm coming in with you. Negative, Giant. You're to secure the Grand Hall of Justice and seal this breach behind me. Dredd lights up a torch as he descends into the alien's hive, alone. The ever stony-faced, fearless man of the law. Keeping in contact with Giant through comms, no sign of Sanchez. Doubt she survived this pit of hell. And I wouldn't say I have any chance either. As Dredd trails off, he's attacked by multiple facehuggers, overwhelming him. Dredd! Dredd, what's your situation? The next we see of Dredd, he's with Sanchez. Upside down and encased in the hive. What are they going to do to us, Dredd? You should know by now, Sanchez. You're going to be a mother. Just not to a human. As Sanchez begins freaking out over this news, Dredd stops her. Get a grip of yourself. Too late for those tears. Can you move at all? But just as they begin figuring a way out, Mr. Bones appears. The great Judge Dredd walks right into the hell I created to destroy him and the judges. As Judge Dredd and Bones discuss the finer points of his criminal activities, Dredd manages to pull an arm free from the resin. As Bones boasts for his plan to destroy the judges and the Justice Department, he comes face to face with Judge Dredd, pulling his arm out and gripping him close. You think you're going to walk free? Think again. Bones pulling back and drawing his gun on Dredd. I think you've got bigger things to worry about, Bones. Like perhaps that tag was the only thing keeping you alive down here. Dredd has guessed the tag's importance and crushed it when he pulled on Bones' jacket. Bones, now looking terrified as the aliens approach, could only scream, Get back! Get back, please! Don't you recognize me? In the chaos, Dredd managed to get himself free, dropped down, and just as Bones' cronies opened fire, he shot them dead with Bones' weapon. Cutting Sanchez down and picking up the pheromone tags from the 2 dead perps, they continued onwards into the hive. Meanwhile, Judge Giant and a squad of tanks descend into the Undercity in an effort to find their way into the hive, opening fire on many mutants aligned with Mr. Bones. Finding a survivor of the battle in the rubble and forcing him to lead the judges to the nest of the alien infestation. Locating the entrance near one of the power tower's pipelines, clearly the bugs like it hot. And as Giant continues into the nest, Judge Dredd and Sanchez are at the very heart. Stumbling into the royal chamber and finding the Queen alien. Looks like we took a wrong turn. Watch your back, Sanchez. Even the tags won't protect us when we start blasting. We have to take out the infestation at the source. And with that, Sanchez and Dredd open fire. As bullets blast from both guns, Dredd shouts, We may not be getting out of here alive, but neither is this abomination. And then it's all out chaos, aliens hoarding and attacking, tails lashing, and the alien queen breaking herself free from her egg sac. Dredd and Sanchez have just enough time to escape down one of the many labyrinth-like lanes. Freeze! Giant and his team are on the other side. Dredd, I thought we lost you. We're not out of the woods yet, Giant. There's a horde behind us and a queen. Get ready. With that, Giant shouts at his team to arm the mini-nuke and prepare for the attack. The aliens are on them, swarming and scratching, and then the ground shakes. The queen breaks through a nearby wall. Droids, take her out now. The droids get into action, punching, shooting, and blasting the queen, but it isn't enough, and the judges start retreating. Dredd and Sanchez are the last judges. What are you still doing here, Sanchez? Medbay's full, sir, and we're both carrying a death sentence. Might as well go down fighting. With that, they look on the power line carrying the magma and open fire, hoping to rid the alien infestation once and for all. The bullets bounce off and it looks like it's game over for the two until Packer flies in from above. Come on, you alien freaks, come to mama. Don't worry about me, Dredd, I've got this. And with that, Packer shoots herself through the chest, hitting her fuel tank. blowing up a nearby alien, and the explosion, combined with the acid, erupts the power line. Dredd grabs Sanchez and grapples to safety above, narrowly missing the river of magna now pouring over the alien hive. And Dredd wakes, next to Sanchez in the medbay, bandages around his chest and feeling beaten and bruised. Now heading down to Benson to see two aliens, from him and Sanchez, behind a screen. You removed the embryo surgically, with barely seconds to spare. In a nice callback to Weyland-Yutani Company, Benson proclaims just how much they could learn from these magnificent creatures. He stopped, however, when Dredd says he's learned enough and initiates the microwave, killing them. As he walks out, he states, "I guess I'm just no motherly type." So, this is a long requested comic run, and now that I've begun building the world of Mega City 1 for you guys, I'm hoping to get into more and more specific comic stories surrounding the Judge Dredd universe, this being the first. So I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'd be keen to get your thoughts on this. I remember when it came out on a weekly episodic basis. I was subscribed to 2000 AD at the time, and loved picking it up weekly. Once it was complete, I picked up the hardback compilation book. The story is great fun, but the art is truly incredible. I'd highly recommend picking this up if you get the chance and you can find it. So if you did enjoy this style of video, then please do let me know in the comment section, and I'll happily bring you more in the future. If you want to see more Dredd related videos, then hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with my content. If you think this video is worth it and you want to support the channel, then please head on over to my Patreon page. The link is in the description box. I've been Mr. H, and until next time, I'll catch you in the comment section.